to our lesson for today. So remember last time we were talking about Naomi and Ruth.
Yeah.
And we talked about how Ruth was very, very kind
to Naomi.
Yes, she was very kind to Naomi, and in turn, Boaz was kind to Ruth. Yes, because Ruth was also very hardworking, and she had decided for her and Naomi to get food, she would have to go and glean in a farm, and she went to Boaz's farm, and that was where she was gleaning, and Boaz showed her favor because he made sure that his reapers would not bother her, and also they would leave extra grains out for her to go and collect on purpose. And then he also invited her to glean the whole harvest in his farm. Yes, so they always had food throughout the harvest season.
Yes, so all this time when Ruth was out gleaning in the farm, Naomi was at home and she was thinking, the harvest season will soon be over. So what are we going to do?
Yes, what are we going to do after the harvest season is over? Because Ruth will no longer have work to go and glean, and they would no longer be able to have food that she collected. So how would they manage?
Yes, so Naomi thought of a plan, and she thought the harvest season will soon be over. So there's going to be a harvest party, because that is what happens
at the end of harvest.
At the end of harvest. But after the harvest party, Boaz is going to be alone. So her plan was, and she told it to Ruth, that Ruth was going to go to Boaz and tell Boaz that because they are part of his family, he had to take care of them. Yes. So after the harvest party was over and Boaz was now alone, Ruth went to Boaz. First, she was shy. She really wasn't sure if she wanted to do it, but she went all the same. She went and told Boaz that you have to take care of us because we are part of your family.
Yes, and there was a law in Israel that said the men are to take care of the widows. Yes, of the women.
Of the widows in
their family. Yes. So that is why Ruth was able to go and talk to Boaz. And Boaz was so happy. He was so happy that
him.
Yes, because he was happy to take care of them. And he sent Ruth back to Naomi with a generous gift of grain. All of this grain.
Yeah, and when Naomi saw the gift that Boaz had sent to her, she was excited, and she said, Boaz is a really good man.
Yes.
And he will not rest until we are taken care of.
Yes, because he has made plans to take care of us. At the same time, Boaz really wanted to marry Ruth.
Yes.
He really wanted to marry Ruth, but there was a closer relative of Elimelech. And he was supposed to be given the first opportunity, the first chance to marry Ruth. So Boaz went and waited for the man at the gates of the town.
And he waited until the man came, and he asked the man whether he was willing to take care of Naomi and Ruth by buying whatever belongs to Elimelech and also marrying Ruth. When the man had that, he was like, no, there's no way I'm marrying Ruth. And so Boaz was very, very happy, because now he had he
had what he wanted, because he wanted to marry Ruth.
Yes.
So he went and he married Ruth, and Naomi was just as excited as Ruth and Boaz when they had their first child.
Yes.
Because now she had a grandson, so she was very, very happy.
And so all the women that had welcomed them back to Bethlehem went to Naomi, and they were happy, and they celebrated together with her, because the Lord had been so good and so kind to Naomi through Ruth, who was very loving and very caring to Naomi. And that way they had gotten a grandson, and now Naomi had Ruth, and she had Boaz, and she had their grandchild, and God was really good to them.
Yes, and God was very good to them. So from this we learn that God will never leave us, and He will never forsake us, and He will always bring joy to our lives. Because Naomi's life was very sad, but God brought joy to it through Ruth, her daughter-in-law, and now she had a grandson, and she had her family back, and she was well cared for, and she was protected.
Yes, so this tells us that God's plans for our life are always very good. When we learn to trust in God, He will always, always, always bring the best our way. So now we are going to stand up and sing our song. So let's all stand up
and help us sing this song.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, kids, so we just learned about how Ruth and Boaz got married and how Naomi was so happy when they had their first child because this was now her grandson.
Yes.
And now we've learned how they saw the goodness of God in their lives throughout their whole life. So now we're gonna sing a song about the goodness of God. So everybody stand up and help us sing this song.
Yeah.
Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire, in the darkest nights. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father, I've known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after me. 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 Yay! Okay, kids, so we have just talked about how Boaz and Ruth got married. And we talked about how Boaz at first knew that there was another closer relative to Elimelech that had the right to take care of Naomi and Ruth first. So remember, he went to the gates and waited for him. And when he arrived, he asked that man, are you willing to take care of Naomi and Ruth by taking all that belonged to Elimelech and also marrying Ruth? And this man said no. So in the Bible, in Ruth chapter 4 and verse 7, it is written that when something like this happens, especially the right to purchase, the person who is giving away the right will take off their sandal and hand it to the person, to the person they are giving the right to. So this is what that man did. He took off his sandal and he gave it to Boaz, and that is how Boaz was able to marry Ruth and to take care of Naomi.
And there were witnesses around to witness whatever happened at that time. So the man gave his sandal to Boaz and gave Boaz the right to take care of Ruth and Naomi.
Yes.
And that is how Boaz was able to marry Naomi.
To marry Ruth.
To marry Ruth.
Yes, to marry Ruth.
Yes, and that's how he actually redeemed them. He redeemed Ruth and Naomi.
Yes, so because this is such an important thing and this is what allowed Boaz to marry Ruth, we are going to make a sandal. And it's actually very easy. What you're going to need is you're going to need a manila paper. So we chose our yellow manila paper, but your sandal can be whatever color you want. So you're going to need manila paper, a pencil, and a stapler. And that's all you need. Oh, and scissors a bit. If you need, that's all you need. So we are going to to take and we're going to draw a sandal shape. We're not going to draw the whole sandal, but just a sandal shape. So you can start at the bottom or at the top. I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to take this and carve it. Draw a line that is carved up, in the shape of a sandal. I'm going to draw a straight line all the way up, and then I'm going to carve it again at the top. And I'm going to make it a little bit wide, but not too wide. And then I'm going to bring that in a bit and stop there. And then from down here, I'm going to carve it up, almost as if the lines were going to connect, but they won't. Then after I get to a point past the middle a little bit, I'm going to take it out. So I'm going to draw a line going outwards, and it's going to be a very long line. So it's going to go outwards, and then it's going to curve again. For this, you're going to need a long manila paper, long as in a wide one. Then from the top here where I had left it off, I'm going to take it, I'm going to bring it out, and I'm going to finish and join my curve. So this is the base for our sandal. So after we have this, we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut it out. So be careful to follow the lines as you cut it out. Oh, and when you're using scissors, please be careful and ask for help if you need help to use the scissors, so you don't hurt yourself and you don't go out of the line.
Yeah, and you might need help because this is a lot of cutting and you need to turn your paper around to get the curves right.
Yes. So carefully go around your curves. And this is going to help us create our sandal. So make sure you go around your whole paper. Oh, this is a big sandal. So keep cutting until you get the whole shape. Remember, you need all of this paper because we need this part to go round so it can be an actual sandal. So round another corner and just cut that off. Around another corner in a straight line. All the way back, and then now go down. And there we go. This is now the shape of our sandal. You definitely need to ask for help in this one. Even I wanted to ask for help with this one. It's a lot of paper to cut. So just make sure you have the correct shape of the sandal that you want. And there. Now I am done cutting. And after cutting, we need to make it look like an actual sandal now. So we're going to take this longer piece and we're going to bring it over, and then we're going to staple it on this other side because this is our sandal now. So just take your stapler and staple it. Make sure it is firm. And there we go. You can also fold it a bit over here at the ends because it's standing. And there we go. We have our big sandal, and we're going to write down in our sandal at the bottom, Ruth chapter 4 and verse 7. And verse 7 to 9. And this is going to help us remember about the right of purchase that Boaz had to go through so that he will be able to take care of Naomi and Ruth.
Yes, and that is how he was able to marry Ruth.
Yes. And they're able to live happily ever after because they even had a son afterwards. Yes. And this is a very happy occasion.
Yes.
So that is our lesson for today.
Until next time.
Bye.